Hi guys, this is Vitaly with AFT Dispatch and A2C Logistics, and in today's video, I'd like to speak with you about truckers' last chance to cash in big before demand collapses. But first, roll the intro. Welcome back. Before we get started, I'd like to ask you to please like the video, be sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a single release of our videos, where every Friday we're talking about something that could benefit you in your trucking businesses and your trucking careers, as well as cover the lows we've successfully booked for our customers, consisting of leased owner operators and carriers operating under their own MC authorities, running under our truck dispatch services. As always, guys, big thank you for all the likes you provided in all the previous videos. Please do keep them coming. And let's talk about truckers' last opportunity over the next 90 days to really cash in big before demand crashes. And we'll cover this in detail, because over the last several months, we've talked a lot about Trump's tariffs, and this is going to be again, another video about that, but with an actual action plan and what you guys can expect over the next 3 months. Believe me, this is a good time for you guys to be able to make up the difference because the bad times are ahead. Luckily, summer is ahead, so hopefully that will dampen the effect. Now, let's go ahead and get started. This is a 90-day pause. This is good for truckers, for trucking, for logistics. However, it's going to get us declining results. Diminishing results, if you will. So the 90-day pause, it's only on additional tariffs. Those are the only ones that have been suspended. The 10% baseline duty remains as it was placed at the beginning of April under the Trump administration. Moving forward, it's going to be a mix of different things, and it's going to be up to you guys to make up your mind of what's actually coming. But I'll push you in that direction because we've honestly been making videos about this for some time. Right now, we're looking at the University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index. They keep track of these things. We've talked about this ad nauseum over the past many videos and many years, that it's the consumer demand, it's the consumer sentiment and consumer spending that will drive ultimately trucking, whether it goes up or goes down. And what we're seeing is that in April, once again, the Consumer Sentiment Index plunged. Now, worse yet, it is now down for 4 months straight. Not good news. And in addition to that, you got Reuters. They did a poll, and what they've achieved is basically an agreement on a 45% recession possibility. So a 45% chance of a recession over the coming days. Now, furthermore, again, to that consumer sentiment, retail sales, they were up in March, 1.4%, which is huge. But here's the thing, guys. What was actually up? What was up was cars, trucks, SUVs, and big ticket items. What does that tell us? Well, remember months back and over the last several videos, we've talked about how companies were front loading all of their product, all of their freight, all of their purchases because they wanted to be ahead of any possible price increases because of the incoming tariffs that they knew would come in, that you didn't know where they were going to land. And now they're actually looking like they're landing even higher than people had anticipated. So a lot of these organizations are really happy it did what they did. Now, fast forward a month or two, and what we're looking at now is the consumer is doing exactly the same thing. They're buying their big ticket items. They're buying their cars, trucks, SUVs, and other things like that. That's why, that's why retail sales are up, and that's fantastic for trucking. However, got to dampen this. Economists warn that this boom, it's absolutely, unequivocally temporary. So that's, again, you have to take advantage of what's available. If you think today's rates are low, wait till you see what's actually coming up next. Now, in the second portion of this video, we'll cover the loads we book for our customers. The numbers are quite impressive. We have a really good mix of equipment, so definitely stick around for that. However, as we've talked in previous videos, the front-loading frenzy that was going on with the companies is also slowing down. I anticipate the same thing happening with the consumer. It's delayed. We see it a little bit later. When it comes to the frenzy of shippers, of manufacturers, of different organizations, that are using these products, they're bringing them in from overseas, from other countries, from China. We're now seeing basically a slowdown, a major slowdown. We're talking Port of Los Angeles, their bookings being down by 64% Now, it was for a 2-week period, but it was within the end of March and also the first week of April, I believe, the 1st to the 8th. Now, I can look into those details. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments. I'll definitely go pop in, find that data. But again, very sharp declines. Companies are pausing their shipments. They're renegotiating. They're looking at their bottom line and they're pausing their shipments. This will continue, guys, and this will slow down the shipping cycles. Now, truckers absolutely must act now. Here's the thing. This 90-day window is a window of opportunity for you guys. I see many of you guys complaining about rates in the comments section. Guys, I've looked over the loads that we booked for our customers. There are some guys that have done 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and I didn't look back further, but there's a good chance that 4 weeks straight, they made the top lists. Good market or bad, they're at the top of the list. They end up in New Mexico, they come out for good money. They end up in Massachusetts, they end up with good money. So it's all about consistency. It's all about communication and being able to take advantage of the market and trusting your dispatcher, because ultimately the demand for spot loads will plunge. You're going to find it increasingly more and more difficult to make the kind of money that you made the previous week. And capacity will surge, which means that rates will go down. Guys, we are going to see diminishing returns and things decline before they improve. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you haven't done so, please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. I'll switch over the camera. We'll look over the loads we booked for our customers, and I'll see you guys in just a moment. Welcome back. Let's take a look at some of these loads. Guys, this week is a really good mix of vans, reefers, and some flatbeds. Ultimately, everyone did quite well, although the rates are on a decline, so be sure to get in touch with us prior to moving forward with some of this cheap freight that's out there and that's coming. Anyway, we'll go ahead and get started with Michael. He's pulling a reefer coming out of Dakota City, Nebraska. It's a 1-pick, 2-dropper going to Vernon, California, and Rancho Cucamonga, California. It's a long run, 42.5 on a load of fresh beef. Temperature set at 26 degrees, so quite reasonable. Long run at 1,626 loaded miles, booked that at $3,500. Got him $215 a loaded mile coming out to California. Now, out of California, took a load out of Ontario, California, going to Portland, Oregon, an excellent market. 42,000 pound load of seafood. Definitely good to have that seafood documentation and insurance. The temperature is set to 39 to 33 on a reefer, 1,015 loaded miles. Also booked at $3,500, got him $345 a loaded mile. Good money going in, great money coming out. An excellent job. Thursday to Thursday, $7,000 in gross. Michael ran 2,641 loaded miles. Only 6 miles of deadhead, literally boom, boom, boom. Got 265 a loaded mile and 264 with deadhead included on his 2,641 loaded miles. Like I said, only 6 miles of deadhead. So an absolutely excellent week for this reefer. Way to go, sir. Great rate. Next, we got Norman in his flatbed coming out of Brookings, South Dakota, going to Las Vegas, Nevada. Super light load, 14,000 pounds. Very refreshing for a flatbed. It's a load of miscellaneous products, or FAK, 1,420 loaded miles, booked out at $4,000. Got him an easy 282 a loaded mile on a super light load and a ton of miles. Then Kingman, Arizona, going to Rock Springs, Wyoming. It's a 46,000 pound load of glass beads and spheres. Tarping was required. It was 686 loaded miles, booked out at $2,400. Got him $350 on the dot per loaded mile. An excellent job. Finished off strong out of Saratoga, Wyoming, going to Pueblo, Colorado. It's a 48,000 pound load of lumber. No tarping was required, but certainly a heavy load going through a lot of mountains. Now it's booked at $800 to get him out of there. 318 loaded miles, got him $252 a loaded mile. All in all, an excellent job. Like I said, his longest run there, in fact, the majority of his miles were at the 14,000 pounds. So an excellent job there. And the guys will get you out of Pueblo in no time. Now, $7,200 booked, running Thursday to Thursday, gross 2,424 loaded miles, gross $7,200 for the week, ran 256 deadhead miles, and got an excellent rate of $297 a loaded mile in today's market for a flatbed. That dropped down to $269 after the deadhead, but that's a very respectable rate indeed. So excellent job, Norman. Way to go, sir. Moving on to Kade, pulling a reefer out of West Valley City, Utah, going to Las Vegas, Nevada. It's a 37,000 pound load of Cafe Rio finished product. So love Cafe Rio for those of you guys in the area who know about the brand. Good Mexican food. 420 loaded miles, booked at $900. Got him $214 a loaded mile. Then Henderson, Nevada, going to Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's a 30,000 pound load of frozen bread, -10 on a reefer, 564 loaded miles, booked at $1,900. Got him $337 a loaded mile. Then Clovis, New Mexico to Schofield, Wisconsin. It's a 38,000 pound load of foodstuffs. 1,303 loaded miles. Booked that at $2,300. And I got him $1.77 a loaded mile. Then Abbotsford, I can't pronounce this one. Abbotsford, probably Wisconsin, going to Mount Juliet, Tennessee. It's a 15,000 pound light load of frozen sausage at -5 on a reefer. 801 loaded miles, booked at $2,150. Got him an easy $268 a loaded mile. Now pay attention, because this is the one that we talked about with the customer earlier today. They went from Henderson, Nevada to Albuquerque, New Mexico. Bad market, $337 a loaded mile. Then out of Clovis, New Mexico to Schofield, Wisconsin at $1.77. Now consider this. He's a reefer. He's going to Wisconsin, an excellent reefer market, and he's getting paid $1.77 coming out of Clovis, New Mexico to a good market. They did a good job pulling a trigger on that one. Had a great week running Tuesday to Tuesday. Gross $7,250 in gross. Around 3,088 loaded miles, only 276 deadhead miles. Got him $235 a loaded mile. And that dropped them down to $216 a loaded mile with deadhead included, is what I mean to say. $216 with deadhead included. So Kade couldn't have done it better. An excellent job. Very, very impressive stuff. Next, we're going to move on to Sherry pulling a dry van coming out of looks like Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin, going to Owensboro, Kentucky. It's a 40,000 pound load of paper products running in this dry van. 570 loaded miles. Booked at $1,250. Got him $219 a loaded mile. Then Florida. Flora, Illinois, going to Brown Summit, North Carolina, 10,629 pound load. So very, very light load of raw materials for some consumer packaged goods. 661 loaded miles at $1,500, get you $227 a loaded mile. Then High Point, North Carolina, going Westfield, Indiana. Some sort of safety products, IMMI, only 4,500 pounds on a weight. So very, very light load. Got him 558 loaded miles, $900. Got $1.61 a loaded mile there. And then Indianapolis, Indiana to Edwardsville, Illinois, 34,000 pound load of food and beverages, 225 loaded miles. Booked at $600. Got a $267 a loaded mile. Finished off with Lincoln, Illinois, going Colonial Heights, Virginia. It's a 44.5 load of roll stock, 835 loaded miles at $2,000. Even got $240 a loaded mile. So she did a great job, because here's the thing. Bunch of short runs, very efficient, a lot of light freight, a lot of light freight. $6,250 in gross, Thursday to Thursday, 2,849 loaded miles, 299 deadhead miles. That gets her $219 a loaded mile with $1.99 with deadhead included. So an absolutely excellent job there. And we move on to our flatbed running. Let's see here. Patrick's the driver, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, going to Seattle, Washington. Long run, 46.5 on a load of 10-inch diameter steel piping. 1,974 loaded miles, booked at $4,400. Got him $223 a loaded mile on a ton of miles. On the way back from Everson, Washington, going to Henderson, Colorado. Another impressive run, 48,000 pound load of lumber. Again, in this case, tarping was required. 1,395 loaded miles, booked at $2,950. Got him $211 a loaded mile on the way back. An excellent job, 7 days on the road, Thursday to Thursday, $7,350 in gross. 3,369 loaded miles, only 103 miles of deadhead. Very, very impressive dispatching, very impressive stuff this week. $7,350 in gross, 218 a loaded mile on his 3,369 loaded miles. 103 miles of deadhead, got some down to 212 with deadhead included. And of course, the last one's going to be Milagres in his reefer. I looked at Milagres. He's one of the guys who was making money in his reefer week after week after week. And if I go back, I'm willing to bet that he's probably, in the previous weeks, but I do remember he took a vacation. So that'd be the only reason why he wasn't in the list. Guys, Milagres running a reefer coming out of Richland, Mississippi, going to Phoenix, Arizona. So 1,472 loaded miles on a 43.5 load of chicken at -10 on a reefer, $2,600 booked. Got him $1.77 on that one. Then out of Nogales, Arizona, took a load to Faison, North Carolina. 44.5 on a load of nurseries. Temperatures at 45 degrees, 2,181 loaded miles. Made up a difference at $5,000 booked. Got him $229 loaded mile. All in all, Monday to Monday, those two runs grossed them $7,600 in gross. Ran 3,653 loaded miles, 179 deadhead miles. Got an excellent rate of 208 a loaded mile. And with deadhead included, $1.98. So an excellent job and very good markets. Excellent job, guys. Welcome back, and thanks for sticking around to the end. Guys, as you can see, the rates are quite good, whether you're a van, a reefer, or a flatbed, but ultimately it's becoming increasingly more and more difficult to obtain these types of loads. And if you don't want to find yourself between a rock and a hard place in the near future, And certainly get in touch with us. Get more information on our website at aftdispatch.com, or easier yet, call or text 801-448-6363. And until next week, guys, stay healthy, be wealthy. Take care.